There are actors who act, and then there are others like Yaman who transform, and then there are others like Yaman who transform. He doesn't need long lines or dramatic gestures. A single glance is enough to convey an entire universe. His acting isn't just technique, it's a direct expression of his inner world shaped by silence, hardship, and profound choices. Behind his public image, attractive, charismatic, successful, lies an introspective man who values silence more than spectacle. Can isn't swept away by the relentless pace of the industry. He chooses carefully what to show, when to speak, when to remain silent. This freedom has cost him misunderstandings but has also granted him a rare authenticity. For him, solitude is not a sentence but a refuge. While others seek validation through exposure, can draw strength from retreat. He distances himself from the cycle of public romances and breakups. He writes his own script without needing anyone's approval. As an actor, he evaluates each role not only artistically but philosophically. He doesn't accept just any project. He must believe in the story, the message, the theme. Sometimes he disappears to renew himself because he knows that acting without soul is a disservice to the audience and to himself. Because he knows that acting without soul is a disservice to the audience and to himself. Despite international fame, especially in Italy, where he's widely praised, Can remains reserved. While media and social networks try to dissect his private life, he draws clear boundaries. No one enters his space unless he allows it. And in a world where everything is for sale, that is an act of resistance. His talent doesn't shout, it whispers, it strikes without excess. He can communicate more with a slight eye movement than others can with pages of script. Because he doesn't act, he embodies. And that's why his characters feel real. Yaman resembles no one. He doesn't copy. He doesn't fake. He doesn't sell himself. His value lies not in what he shows, but in what he protects. His life, marked by struggle, illness, and sacrifice, has forged a man who doesn't bend to success. He doesn't seek fame. He seeks meaning. He doesn't want to be displayed. He wants to live in silence, with dignity, and with respect. Because respect isn't requested, it's imposed. And Can does that with his mere presence. That's why people admire him, for his depth, his integrity, his soul. He doesn't need luck. He needs space, and he deserves it. In a world where everyone shouts, he chose to speak softly, with truth. There are people whose essence remains intact, even when the outside noise tries to drown it out. Women who don't need speeches to show their strength. Every choice, every gesture speaks for them. That's how I see Demet Özdemir. Authentic, different, with a light that doesn't depend on anyone else's. It's said she holds on to memories, that some experiences still live within her. And that may be true, but they don't weaken her. On the contrary, they make her stronger. Because real growth doesn't always mean forgetting, but learning to live with what happened without letting it define you. A fan once said, Demet hasn't forgotten, but she's learned to move forward without losing her essence. That says it all. Demet has been in the spotlight, subject to many opinions, yet her followers describe her as noble, natural, full of light. She earned that respect on her own. In an era where overexposure is mistaken for relevance, she chose sincerity to protect what is hers. Her bond with Yaman is still a topic of discussion, though it's now in the past. Her bond with Yaman is still a topic of discussion, though it's now in the past. What stands out, however, is her graceful way of closing chapters. She hasn't sought public justifications. Her inner peace speaks louder. I'm struck by her calm. Amid so many voices and judgments, she remained firm in her values. She didn't chase controversy. That to me is true maturity. Because not everyone has the courage to be silent and still remain true to themselves. Demet is admired not only for her talent, which is clear, but for how she moves through the world. She's become a symbol for many who have been judged for feeling deeply, for keeping silent, for remembering with the heart. In her, we see someone who doesn't erase her past but writes new chapters without destroying the old ones. I admire her ability to reinvent herself without hurting others, to move on without bitterness, and above all, to remain faithful to herself, even if it means disappointing others. Because in the end, her life belongs to her. And in that quiet act of defending it lies her greatest strength. Often when I reflect on Demet Özdemir, I feel deep admiration for the woman she's become. Beyond her beauty and undeniable talent, there's an inner strength guiding her every choice. Her story with Yaman was deeply emotional and helped her grow. Many like me still see in Demet a woman who, although no longer with Can, carries within her the mark of that intense love. Because let's be honest, it's rare to find such a deep and sincere connection. Their glances, gestures, harmony, it spoke of something far beyond work. If I had to imagine her future, the only thing I'd wish is that she keeps going this same way, staying true to herself, choosing from the soul, and not letting external pressure drag her down. Because there are many talented actresses, but people like her with that mix of sensitivity, strength and authenticity are a rare treasure. As one follower quoted Sultana Hürrem, "Loyalty is the most important thing, and I hope he doesn't forget it. But I also hope Demet always remembers it, stays true to her principles, and never allows outside noise to dim her inner light." In the end, the greatest victory is not having a perfect relationship in the public eye, but building a safe haven where one can be authentic, vulnerable, and truly happy. Demet has already come a long way, but I feel the best is yet to come. She has the maturity, emotional intelligence, and experience to choose wisely. And while we all closely follow every step she takes, her happiness depends solely on the intimate decisions she makes from her heart.